I want to talk about the impact of the mayor's broken promises. And you can see here one of the headlines that we all see every day. This one comes from The Independent. And you can see the title here: cuts to children's services are pushing young people into violence and exploitation, the experts warn. And the truth is this: all of those broken promises that I just outlined, the cuts to our community centers, the cuts to the funding in the youth, all the broken promises from 2016, they result in three things: an increase in youth crime, higher youth unemployment, and a mental health crisis for our children. And I'm going to show you how. And again, another one of the headlines that we see every single day, and you can see this headline, you can see it's wrong priorities. Sadiq Khan, his culture budget doubles, why crime spirals, and of course, 30 more killed in London. This again shows the wrong priorities of our mayor, worrying about culture when, we are seeing crime spiral. But next, we are seeing a marked increase in youth crime. And the truth is this: youth crime is up with a shocking rise. We have to know that. Knife crime has gone up for every single year the mayor has been in office. Every single year. I did an entire 1 hour episode about this 2 weeks ago. Every single year, violent crime going up, knife crime going up. The current mayor has just recorded his 100th murdered teenager on his watch. He just recorded his 100th murdered teenager on his watch. 100 murdered teenagers under your current mayor's watch. Unacceptable. But it gets worse. Youth reoffending rates have increased 10% in London, up from 33% in 2006 to 43% now. That's double that of England and Wales under his watch. And it gets worse. Between 2012 and 2017, the number of under 25-year-olds who were killed increasing year on year since 2014. So it's been increasing year on year, and the number of under 25s who were killed has doubled since 2014. Doubled. Last year, there were 135 killings in London. Killings, all on our mayor's watch. 30% of those crimes committed in London are by young people, and they involve violence. This has to be addressed now, and we all know how to address it. It's right in front of our faces. It's right in front of our faces. But let's go deeper. Let's look at the higher youth unemployment because of our mayor's broken promises. In the UK, we've seen 602,000 young people are unemployed in the last quarter. That's an increase from 53,000 from the previous quarter and an increase of 101,000 from the year before. This is the highest level of youth unemployment in the past 5 years. And now unemployment in London is most prevalent amongst those aged from 16 to 24, the exact type of young person that we could have targeted if we hadn't have broken our promises and slashed spending from our community services. Lastly, I want to talk about mental health because this is a major crisis for our children. We all know this. We're having a mental health crisis for our younger generation. These are the facts. Mental health hospital admissions for younger people have increased 68% in 10 years. 68% increase in mental health hospital admissions in the past 10 years. In London, 1 in 10 young people have a diagnosable mental health disorder. 1 in 10. That's preposterous. And that's 3 in every school class. That's more than 100,000 young people across London now have a diagnosed mental health disorder. I wonder why. And finally, between 1 in 12 and 1 in 15 children and young people now deliberately self-harm. And this is a real crisis. It's also, unfortunately, a crisis on our female younger generation. And it's something that's very important. And it's something that I want to address. This is a crisis of mental health for our children. And this is all happening because of one reason. This is the impact of your current mayor of London's broken promises. And again, a community center isn't an extra. It isn't a bonus. It isn't a place where you can go have some fun. It's a place that invests in our younger communities. It's a place that prevents crime. And the truth is this: our current mayor of London doesn't care about our communities. He doesn't care about our children. And he never intended to keep his promises. It's obvious to me that our current mayor of London doesn't care about our children. And the question I have to you is, how can we believe anything he says?